This is the 14th-floor Lotis Tower on Mackinnon Road in Nakasero, Kampala. The building was completed over 3 years ago. However, National Building Review Board reported a suspected compression failure of a column on the 6th floor. Also the basement, where parking is, the board hinted that some of the columns were developing cracks. Although the investigations are ongoing to ascertain if there is a problem with the columns, some of the cracks look like those that developed due to dampness in the paint or plaster. Engineer Kenneth Mugabe, who was part of the supervisory team during the construction, said the columns developed superficial cracks.
The ones, for example, in the basement, after scraping off the plaster, the paint and bit of a plaster, we realized that they were superficial.
But in the basement, most of the columns don't have the cracks. What could be the possible cause?
It can be even just heat within the room can cause cracks. Possibly things like if you do not cure whatever has been cast, the concrete that has been cast, that also could cause some shrinkage cracks, but it doesn't mean that they are fatal.
After scraping the columns, Mugabe says the cracks which were seen on the surface are not in the concrete. Despite this, the contractor embarked on the reinforcement, especially for the affected columns.
The engineer says that although there are no visible cracks on the columns after scraping and removing the paint plus the outer layer, they have decided to reinforce the very columns by adding more iron bars, and then they are going to be casting it from the top in order to give it more strength.
We dowel around the column because you want to anchor the bars into the floor, and then we also dowel at the top, and then we put in our reinforcement, the vertical rebars, and we definitely provide the links, and thereafter we provide shear connectors so that the new column and the old column are monolithic, and then we core 2 holes at the top to be able to cast the concrete.
We also went to the 6th floor, where the Building Review Board hinted that a column had developed cracks. It has been reinforced.
We decided to jacket them with another column, and this is a very common practice when a column seems to be having cracks, or when you want to increase on the load that will go through the column. We normally do this as a common practice.
According to the letter from the Ministry of Works, it pointed out the floors above or below the 6th floor to have no cracks, although an integrity investigation of the building is being conducted. Although Mugabe only does technical work for the client, he says one can't rule out malice.
But neither can I rule it out, because we live in a world where everyone wants to occupy a space, and at the end of the day, you can never rule out what other parties are likely to do.
Mugabe insists the building is safe, even though the completion of the integrity investigation report is still underway.
And with the exception of those few columns, the other parts of the buildings visually look structurally okay.
In construction, for every project that is completed, there has to be a defects liability period. Has this structure already passed that?
Yeah, we completed the building, I think around either 2017 or 2018 thereabout. And the defects liability period, I can't remember exactly whether it was 6 months or 12 months, but what I know is that we've already gone past that period.
Despite the National Building Review Board having been the first to report this matter, they declined to comment when we asked for an interview. Sudhir Ruhanga, NTV.